Welcome to this amazing episode of the WhitePaperPodcast, where we share practical wisdom in a wise woman way. We don't want to sound like, some old principal in your life trying to coerce you or force some ancient truths down your throat. We want to just be conversational and chilled and just ensure that you're not only tiding through life, but you're actually thriving with your gifts and God's grace upon your life. And we have the best guests on this podcast. So if you haven't subscribed yet, do that right now. We're on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on Google Podcasts, on every major podcast platform. We're also on YouTube. We had thousands of you joined over the past couple of weeks, and we're so excited about that. Keep on telling your friends, family, and loved ones, even your enemies. Tell them they might just become your friends because of the quality of what we're giving out here. Today, we have an amazing, wonderful, intelligent, charismatic, gracious, progressive young woman doing great stuff. Her name is Mosope Adeyemi, and we're going to be diving into some very practical and useful conversations once we're back. But before we go on our intro break, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
So her name is Mosope Adeyemi. You are so welcome to the WhitePaperPodcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited because I saw this kind of build, so it's really good. I'm really glad to be here. So it's exciting. I'm excited for this conversation. It's going to be good.
I'm happy to have you here, and thanks for squeezing us into your schedule all the way from London. How you doing over there?
We're good.
Yes,
we're coping.
Do you want
know
some
how it
tea?
is.
Or it's going to stay in white?
In this hot Nigeria.
No, our studio is not hot now. It's cool. We're cool people. We're hot, but the studio is cool.
We're cool people, but I don't know if we can. Okay, need an additional fire. Do we need additional fire?
No,
I'm not sure.
Right.
So yeah.
Anyway, if you want tea, I'm already wearing a t-shirt. Okay, so guys, once we're back, we're gonna have some amazing conversations. So stay tuned.
Please put your hand together for B-Dams as he comes to share with us how we all start. Can we celebrate the amazing, the author, the singer, the mentor.
But we know say God na our papa, and we have the right genes in us.
Modupe, you are very rude.
Wait. The question I just have to see somebody that knows something about girl. That's when they will now be take your picture and go. It's not don't underline now. Now you go talk am.
I'll mark your script.
Some people still didn't get it.
My name is Ife.
My name is Oromokoli.
Good evening, B-Dams. Good evening, Pastor Toju. I've laughed. I hope I've not thrown my voice away.
Because I promise you that everything you touch is fire. Every beat you're on is a banger. Because every word I speak is Rema. Another.
Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be discussing quite a number of things just to give you an idea of who Mosope Adeyemi is. She's going to talk to us about her journey so far, but she's smart, she's intelligent, she's driven. You know, all those people that have collected all the degrees. She's worked with Deutsche Bank, she's worked with Bank of America, she's worked with Goldman Sachs. Common now. So whilst people were parking yam in sacks, she had the gold and the man in sacks. Well, I don't know about the man in sacks, but
that part.
But yeah, don't worry. The golden man is on the way, right? So she's done that. She's authored a book, an amazing book. We'll talk about it later. She has a coaching community for women, progressive individuals who are doing great work. She's big on personal growth. And I'll let her tell us some more about what she's done. But just to prep you, to get you ready for that, let me say this, that your profile is impressive, right? I'm not just saying it's because you're on my show, right? Or because we're friends or anything. But you have an incredible profile to have squeezed all of these great achievements into 3+ decades, right? A whole lot, like many people's lifetime career don't even capture all of this. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done. Now talk to us. How has that happened? How have you evolved into this power woman?
Oof, power woman, that's a big word. I would say like a lot of that has to do with just upbringing. I grew up in Lagos, Nigeria. My parents are they're a winning team, I have to say, for sure. And so I think growing up in that environment, you cannot but take a lot of lessons from that. God, how do I even describe them? My mom, extremely entrepreneurial. I grew up with a working mom. So she was a nurse, but alongside, she was an incredible side hustler. Did so many different things and still does even at almost 75.
Wow.
So an incredible side hustler. So lots of different stuff. Knew how to manage money, knew how to make money, really good with relationships, a real table shaker, as they put it, My dad as well, just, again, was worn many hats, very influential, was definitely an influence and impact kind of person. Left an incredibly lucrative private sector consulting job to work for the government, and he worked for the government all of his life. And he retired as SSG of Lagos, so Secretary of State Government, and head of state. So I grew up in Alausa, literally. I grew up in the public sector, and you see people who really want the country in the city to do well. So beyond, I know, we talk about politicians. My dad was not a politician, but we talk about public service officers and, being maybe a little bit slow, inefficient, ineffective, all of those things. But I grew up with someone who was none of those things. Was just an avid people developer. Wanted to see people better. He was an exceptional person. And I say my dad passed away about 5 years ago. But just, it's an excellent individual, both at home and at work. And so I grew up with that. The reality of what people say about people who work in that space was not the life that I lived with. I lived with someone who was just very quick on his feet, did a lot of things, executed a lot, and was really serving serving with diligence and integrity. And so lots of leaves from that board. So I think I grew up really almost knowing that impact was important, leaving people better was important, making money was important. So I think I lived and grew up with those sort of multifaceted view of potentially what career and life and family could really look like. And I had all the opportunities in the world, right? And they provided that. So I'm always incredibly grateful from the quotes from which I was cut. And it's definitely what shall I say? It's a pathway. It's definitely a light that I continue to follow, I would say.
All right. So thank you for walking us through them. I'm still going to ask some specific questions, right? But you said your mom is a table shaker. So, but I'm just curious, whenever you had lunch or dinner at home, did the food spill all over the table? Because if your mom is a table shaker, everybody wants to eat, next thing your food just pop, boom, boom.
Some days, some days it was literally table shaking.
Literally?
Literally. It was actually shaking. If you're not behaving, the table shall be shook.
And then, if you're literally drinking tea and the cup is spilled, you'll be that's your cup of tea.
Spilling tea. Spilling the tea. I have your time today, so we're going to go.
Can I see the watch? Oh, that's why I have my time. Okay, good.
I cannot.
All right. So let's talk about this because you have a book out. You have a great career. Have you always been smart, or did something happen earlier on? Look at your face.
Very random question.
Have you always, because it works different ways for different people. So my mom tells the story of how I didn't want to do my homework. I was always playing, and then one day she gave me good Abara importation.
Right.
And then from that point, so like, hey, I just started becoming the first in class and everything. So did you have that kind of dramatic switch, or have you always been that person that, okay, do your books, attend your lectures, score straight A's?
Yeah, I think I was that person.
Wow.
Definitely.
And have you
very
maintained that without
independent? I think I've always been very independent.
Are you the first child?
No, second and the last.
So
So we're just two.
Okay.
Biologically from my parents, but
Okay.
I'm in the middle of a host of many others.
Okay.
But biologically from my parents, we're just two, my brother and myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I enjoyed reading. I enjoyed sitting down in one place.
So
I was not.
you just have effortless success.
I would say it's effortless. It's definitely not effortless. But I've always been focused.
Okay.
So I don't think like I was someone that they had to coerce to do school. I liked school. I liked going to school. I liked the concept of learning. Yes, I was not.
Ladies and gentlemen, please celebrate her. She's one of the 0.1% of people that say they like school. Did you start your education in Lagos?
I started my education in Lagos.
Wow.
Yeah, so
and you love school from Lagos.
Yeah.
Miracles, no the time. Jesus, like.
Yeah, I liked school. I liked going to school. I liked my teachers, but I was always a bit of an enigma in that I would study and I would be one of the like top people in school, but I also had like a whole crew of friends that partied.
Wow.
So I was sort of one of those like that edged in between, like I would say two worlds.
Multitasking.
I would multitask, but when it came time to do school, no, we're not paying school fees again, no. So I've always been very competitive in like from an educational perspective.
Yeah.
Like, not necessarily driven because I wanted to do better than someone else, but I always wanted to improve and stay on top and keep my grades.
Yeah.
And so I don't think like of all the potential other problems that my parents might have had with me, definitely school wasn't one of them. Yeah.
Tell us about your career. I mentioned some things, but just talk about like sort of like highlights, because I have some questions about that.
Yeah, I mean, quite early, I realized like I liked numbers and I liked.
And like the book of Numbers, you just carry your Bible, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, then Numbers, like that.
Are you done? Are you done? Oh, when you're done, let me know. Yeah, I mean, well, I like numbers. And I realized like I liked money numbers. So like I liked just anything to do with commerce and economics and that type of stuff and business. And my dad used to get us like Reader's Digest and The Economist.
Yeah.
I used to read all that when I was like really, really, really young. And so when it came time to like start, in Nigeria, you get to a point, I think it was like SS1, where you start going into like sciences or commercial or this or that.
Yeah.
So I kind of went down the business pathway. And I did really well there, and it kind of felt very natural to me. And so in some ways, I just sort of stayed. I just sort of stayed and continued to do that. And then uni and the like. And when I got to maybe about second year, so I left the country and went to study abroad. And I think it was second year of uni, I started pursuing internships and the like. I would say like one of the things I would say that helped me was a lot of proactivity. Some days I wonder though if the proactivity was mine or was the gentle push from my dad in particular. It was like at this point, go and start looking for internships, so this will help you, things like that. And I did. And really those are the things that really set me apart. So whilst my friends were like maybe trying to get jobs when we were done from uni, I'd already worked a few like during the summers and things like that. So I already had the work experience. And then, that's really how it's a whole long story, which I read about in the book, but that was invariably how I started my career in banking.
Yeah.
Was through doing internships, and then I found a spot within the bank that really suited me. And I ended up staying in that role, well, not in that role in particular, but in that firm for maybe about 10 years.
Wow.
And kind of building different skills and doing different things and growing whilst I was there. I do think that some of the things that I wish I maybe didn't give up quickly were probably more the creative parts of me. The more creative, well, I think we're all creators to be fair, but I guess the more, I guess maybe mainstream creative stuff. So I used to play like the keys.
Oh, you used to play
I used to play the keys. I used to dance a lot.
Wow.
I was really good at fine art.
Wow.
And a number of other things like that. I was always good with my hands, sewing, hair. I used to do a lot of really, I think, things in that space. But we're talking of a time of life where those things were not the career of choice, right?
So like you want to go and be a pianist.
Exactly. Like, it was go to school, accountant, engineer, doctor, pick your one out of the five or one of the 4 or 5, you know. And so I kind of picked my own, but invariably I picked something that I was very good at, something I can continue to grow in, something that could put food on the table, and I will continue to enjoy and is impactful across a number of sectors. Finance, right? You can do finance across a number of industries. And so when I work, especially when I work with like the women in my community, I always say, hey, pick the job, then pick the industry. So and they are not the same decisions. So especially when you say something like, I want to work in graphic design, but you could be a designer in fashion, in architecture, in oil and gas, and you know, you can pick different things. So there's the one choice is the job, the way you want to apply your skills. Then there's the other choice of the where. Where do you want to then use this? Because then you can float around, right? And that was one thing about finances. I know, like, I've always worked for investment banks, but I always knew I could always work internally. You know, sort of within corporate finance. I could work as a consultant. I could step out of all of that completely and work in real estate or, you know, in other things that catch my attention per time. So I think it was just one of those dynamic sectors, and I've been in finance for like 15 years now, and like love it as much as I did the day I started.
That's amazing that you've grown a career consistently. So I want to ask some questions around career, because I know that the people who have great dreams. I want to work with Bank of America. I want to work with Merrill Lynch. I want to work with, you know, whatever, Dutch Bank. Consistency, because I think that's one of the things I hear from your story. Consistently reading, constantly writing books, consistently working in the finance sector for 15 years. How can people build their consistency muscle? How have you been
It's a big question.
consistent?
I mean, there are many things. I guess ultimately, when purpose creates consistency, or purpose fuels consistency. If you have a reason why you're doing something, even on the down days, you will still get up and do it. That's just the fact. Because you really, it's almost like, what else would I be doing? Like, this is sort of, it's almost slightly a weirdly optionless situation, because you're like, well, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, so I'm just going to keep on doing it. Now, consistency doesn't necessarily mean, again, I always say, like, sometimes people think, oh, I have to keep on working in the same place, the same day. But no, you can be doing something similar, but still like have variety. And that still be consistent. So consistency doesn't mean actually doing the same thing every day, but perhaps it's like replicating similar patterns every day. But those patterns could be filled with so many different things. You know, so I definitely think that knowing your why is a key element or key aspect. It's definitely one of the first things I would say around consistency. And then having systems, or should I say strategies. So we talk about, oh, I want to do X. We have goals, but you don't really have the systems that protect the achievement of the goal. And so, you know, when I say systems, what do I mean? You know, okay, I have a goal to get this job. Let's start from the baseline. I have a goal to get a job in, I'll just stay in my industry, in an investment bank. What are the systems that are going to help you be successful there? So there has to be, first of all, a system of job search. There has to be. This is
important. The practical and tactical thing. And I love that you're saying that, because, sorry to cut in, please listen as if you're building a career, right? Job search, a system, because some people will just say, oh, I prayed. No, I got a word of prophecy, or I saw a dream. I saw myself working out of Canary Wharf or New York 5th Avenue or something. So a system of job search.
So you have to have a just system of, okay, this is how I'm going to actually search for this role. You have to have a system of upskilling. So who am I today, and who is the person who can actually get that job?
Come on now.
Whether it is, you know, who can interview well for the job, are my communication skills at par? Are there skills gaps in between where I am and what the job requirement, you know, is stipulating?
As they're saying, you're saying, mind the gap.
Mind the gap. Absolutely.
in the
You're
gap,
so spot
yeah.
on. I know you're trying to crack a joke, but you're spot on.
But it's always spot on. That's the thing, right? So mind the gap so you can have a train of thought that delivers you to your career.
Now you're being excessive.
No, I'm being incisive. No, but you know that works. Doesn't it work?
Nobody.
And you know, if
It's
you
a
have
word.
a train of thought, then you have coaches.
Yeah.
Coaches.
Yeah.
That line
Coach
up.
1, coach 2, coach 3 who can take you, the
Yeah, and
pathway.
then, after all, the world is your oyster.
So you can tap in and tap out.
Come on! You say, yeah. Now, it's the Londoners that really feel like, yeah.
So there's systems of job search, there's systems of upskilling, there's systems of relationship building, because a lot of times, and it's not just in
You're dropping gems.
Nigeria.
Please just go deeper, and then maybe if you can tell us some of your own stories in the different aspects of this.
So so there's systems of doing that. So if I think about like systems of job search for me, where after I graduate, I want to work in finance. People who work in finance, especially at the big banks at the time, they were those who graduated from university 2-1 first class. I knew that, okay, everyone is getting a 2-1. I really want to set myself apart. So 2-1 was not an option. It had to be like the
so
first,
you
right?
had this conversation.
So for me, I was having this internal conversation that what is going to set me apart. Okay, so in a year and a half or so, I want to get this job. What do I need to start doing now? That's already like systems of job search. Okay, so my system of job search, I need to get an internship. It's easier to get an internship than to get a full-time job, right? So you start like behind. You start saying, okay, hey, this is summer of 2006. I graduated in 2007. What am I going to be doing this summer? Am I going to do retail, which everybody was doing, or do I want to actually go and get a job in, so what then happens? So what that looks like is, okay, when is internship? And then universities are doing campus recruitment fairs and things like that. You go, right? You don't sit and say, well, I've not yet graduated.
Yeah.
So there's too many people are reactive, not proactive. So they're waiting for like, oh, I'm done with this phase. And then the next phase begins. But the next phase is already begun prior to when you get there, because your preparation will set you apart, right?
Yeah.
And so foresight is so important in just everything, right? So it's just look around corners before you get to the point when you need to make a decision. Already it's like start thinking ahead, like almost 6 months before you're like, okay, this is where I'm going to be in 6 months. What should I be doing now to get me better prepared? So that's like an example of a system of job search. When you're thinking about systems of upskilling, so you're thinking, okay, hey, banking, cool, I want to do this. What do I know about what an investment bank does? How am I going to get better prepared? Are there organizations that can help me, that can teach me? So in my case, for example, I went through an organization called SEO London, where they did like basically investment banking 101.
Wow.
Prep. They taught me what I needed to know.
Program?
In fact, it was happening alongside so I got the internship, and then we started maybe like a 5-week program whilst I was wrapping up my exams. And then throughout a 10-week internship, we would have these lectures and classes and things. And they were teaching me everything, like from accounting, finance, economics, how to think about shares, stocks, derivatives, risk management, DCF, EC, all kinds of things, because these are not things that I was necessarily taught in that depth whilst I was at school. Even though I was studying accounting and finance, but it feels different when it's now practical. So for me, it was like, okay, that's system of so that on day one, I'm not a deer in headlights. I know I have an idea of what I'm supposed to be doing and delivering, right? So again, there are many things like that. I always said, generally, when you have a vision or plan of the future, it's typically not the person who has the vision that steps into it. Right?
That person has to grow.
It's the person has to grow. You have to grow
person that can walk into those doors.
And a lot of times the fulfillment or our ability to step into the vision or achieve the vision is dependent on the pace of your growth.
Great.
If you grow slow, it's just going to take as much time, because the truth is God is faithful enough to not give us much more than we can bear. And so consequently, that includes your growth.
So it's not just that scripture is not just about your trials and temptations. Also,
it's like actually, I'm not going to put. I mean, if you cannot manage money, I'm not going to suddenly give you $1 million, because you're not going to know.
With the excess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right, that's powerful. Now, what it means is, if you want your career to sail, sometimes you have to get in some internships.
I cannot do this.
No, but that works. Like, yeah, and
What he said.
you put your ducks on a row.
Put your ducks in a row.
Yeah, so that
And
you
sail
can sail
on your internships.
smoothly. Guys, there's so many other things I'm going to be asking 𝐓𝐘𝐒, but I really love the emphasis on vision, looking forward, and then being able to create a strategy around it. I think that's one of the things that I found to be missing in many young people's lives. There's a lot of dream, a lot of aspiration, hopes, goals, pictures. Those things are there, but then how do you create a system that allows you to deliver? One more question before we go on break now. Did you face any resistance as a woman, right, at any major point? Like maybe when it was time for promotions, or your voice in the boardroom, or having the corner office, whatever that is. Did you? Because now we're having a lot of women who are vocal, who are progressive, and you work with a lot of them. So have there been times where personally you experienced some kind of resistance just because, let's do two, your skin color, right? London, and then your gender. And how did you navigate those turns?
It's, and this is going to be an odd answer. It's possible that I faced opposition, but I don't think I noticed. Primarily because, number one, I grew up privileged. And when I say privilege, I'm not talking about money. I grew up with the privilege of being in a house, in a household that encouraged me to speak. So I never grew up thinking that because I was a woman, I didn't have a voice. I grew up, obviously, in Nigeria. Everyone's black. 99.999% of population are black. And so I didn't grow up with a racial issue or a gender issue within my household. Oddly enough, obviously, I mean, in Nigeria, we know that women are generally treated as second-class citizens. And
well, it used to be.
But even now, I mean, there's still a significant majority of men who believe that women are for a certain type of role and all of that, but we leave that aside. But when I came into my household, my dad always said, "What do you think?
Awesome.
What is your opinion?" So I grew up speaking my, I grew up speaking and being heard. So it was never, I didn't feel like I didn't naturally have an uphill battle. It was when I probably left the country, back in 2004 now. That was when I think I was introduced to the concept that, there could be potentially a disenfranchisement as a consequence of my race or my gender per se, from a career perspective. So it was a bit of an interesting, like, this is interesting. And it was more that, and I probably realized that not much because I experienced it, but people are talking about it. So you're like, is this really a thing? Yeah. And so when things happen in the workplace and I feel as though, why do I feel like there's a disadvantage here? Why do I feel like, I don't think my go-to is, is it because I'm a woman? Or is it because, I just actually think, is there a point in what they're saying? Am I really not ready for this promotion? And if I'm not, why? So I think I naturally just go to the A minus B equals, like I just look at it more factually. And I just think, if they're saying I'm not ready for promotion, it means they're saying, in their opinion, I'm not ready. So how do I prove that I'm ready? If I can't get the job and they say, you're not commercial, we don't think your commercial awareness is up to scratch. Okay, they've said it. Then what am I going to do to fill the gap? That's not for me, that's not a race thing. It's a, now on the underlying current of all of that could be race and gender. It could be someone saying to me, they can't hire me because of this. But I don't think I just naturally process information that way. Now, there could be times where it's just like point blank, where you're just like, okay, I don't really understand why you're speaking to me in this manner or treating me in this way. My first point of call is not like, is it because I'm black, or is it because I'm, I think I just try to just hear feedback for what it is and almost just analyze it just plainly. And, some might say I'm not woke, actually, and like I'm plain ignorant or whatever, but I just try to not let that be my default, because I think sometimes in doing that you miss the lesson. There's oftentimes a big you just think, oh, it's because I'm like, but can you really hear what they're saying? Like, and is there a moment where you pause and say, is there some truth in this? And then sometimes you realize I mean, I've had somebody say to me once that, oh, you know, effectively she was trying to tell me that I was aggressive. She was trying to paint me as aggressive, and then made a statement that the more junior people in my team are afraid to talk to me. And I knew for a fact that was not true. Yeah. Because I had people in the group who would come to my house to hang out on a Saturday, or would talk to me about their boyfriends and girlfriends. We'll go for lunch together, where they would invite me for lunch. Not that I'm coercing them because I'm some kind of, you know. So I knew like the facts did not match the statement. And I just brushed it off just as she said it. Because I then knew like, actually, this is a you problem, not a me problem. So, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that these biases do not exist. They absolutely do. But honestly speaking, in my career, if someone said to me like, did you really experience a challenge? I can't say that I've experienced an obvious one, right? Through my career, because I don't think that Black people are a monolith. I don't think we're all the same thing. I think that there's a lot to do with nurture, much more than nature. Two Black people can be in a room, and one is very outspoken and can speak up for themselves, and the other person is just not. You know, but what does a career require? A career requires you to continue to operate in your strength zone, deliver value consistently, tell people and share the work that you're doing, so that they know that you're doing it and they can pay you for it. If you're not, if one person is doing that, one Black person or one woman is doing that, another is not doing that. Is it the Blackness and the womanhood that's causing the problem, or is it the failure to follow process? And I think that I'm generally more systematic. I tend to go to that first. And after all of that has been dispelled, then we can maybe now go back to, then we can now say, oh, maybe it's bias thing. Now, there are many other underlying structural biases that cause problems. For example, in your workplace, you might say you need career sponsors, people who can speak for you in rooms that you're not in. But the French guy has another French guy in the room. The German woman has another German woman who they've bonded and made friends. The Nigerian immigrant doesn't have the same sort of leverage because of through affinity. So there are disadvantages there. But how can you be proactive about such a disadvantage? You build relationships. I don't need my sponsor to be a Black woman. My sponsor can also be a white guy. So if I know there's nobody who's going to look like me that's going to be in that room, and someone still needs to support me, then I get ahead of that. I place myself strategically in spots that other people can see the work that I can do, and they go into the room and they will speak for me. They will speak for me, because in the end, nobody can argue with value. And so for me, it's being as strategic as that, to say, hey, it's not woe betide me. There's nobody who looks like me to speak for me. It's okay. There's a disadvantage there, but how can I get ahead of that?
Awesome. This is very valuable stuff that you're sharing. And I think that many times people have ideas in their heads that they're not able to articulate. And so they're fighting sometimes the wrong battles as against dealing with the real ones. We'll talk some more. You touch on your framework in your book. We'll talk some more about that after the break. If you're building a career, or if you're an immigrant, or just looking at a long-term value creation process with your profession, your business, and your career, ensure that you don't miss any part of this podcast. You might have to rewind it to get all the juice and to squeeze it out of it. And you might start a fruit juice company. Anyway, after this break, we're going to go back to talk about visibility. Shokma's work with women. We'll talk about immigration and certain things that can help you. Stay tuned and pay attention to these announcements from our sponsors.
Are you tired of putting your passion on hold because you don't think it will make you rich? It's time for you to change the mindset and start living the life you've always dreamed of. Hi, I'm Damilola Oluwatoyinbo, and I'm here to help you unleash your full potential with the Rich Genius program. As someone who has found his gifts and turned them into profitable ventures, I know firsthand the power of following your passion. The Rich Genius program is designed to help you discover your gifts, find your purpose, and make a lot of money from them. With our guidance, you will learn how to turn your passion into a thriving business that will provide you with financial freedom. So why wait? Don't put your passion on hold any longer. Start your journey towards success with the Rich Genius program today. Join me and become a part of a community of progressive people who are deploying their gifts profitably. Click the Learn More button now to get started on your path to success.
It's still White Paper Podcast. My name is Damilola Oluwatoyinbo, and I trust that you're enjoying this. Don't forget to subscribe, to share with your friends, post comments in the comment box, and let's keep growing this community until we spread wisdom and make it viral to create value in our lives and our businesses and ministries and relationships. I want to invite you especially to White Night this year. It's happening the first Sunday of December. We've had it for 2 years, and each episode, each White Night has been really lit, right? So I'm just going to show you like some snippets from White Night so you can get your tickets early enough and secure your seat. I know that maybe you're a business person or a polymobile career person and you're always working, always taking inventory, always selling on markets. So you need a night where you can just chill in a safe and safe environment and then have fun, relax, and yeah, take a look at this and buy your tickets now.
Please put your hand together for 𝐕𝐈𝐃𝐄𝐒 as he comes to share with us how we all start. Can we celebrate the amazing, the author, the singer, the mentor?
But we know say God na our papa and we have the right genes in us.
Modupe, you are very rude.
Wait. The question I just have to see somebody that knows something about girl. That's when they will now be take your picture and go. It's not don't underline now. Now you go talk am.
I'll mark your script.
Some people still didn't get it.
My name is Ife.
My name is 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒.
Good evening, 𝐕𝐈𝐃𝐄. Good evening, Pastor Toju. I've laughed. I hope I've not thrown my voice away.
Because I promise you that everything you touch is fire. Every beat you're on is a banger. Because every word I speak is rema. Another.
Okay, now a lot of people ask me the question, how do you become so good at doing so many things and generate value, financial returns from it? If you've ever asked me that question, I have a product for you that you'd really need to pay attention to. It's called the Rich Genius. And if you're wondering why I'm selling so much, yeah, we need to sell so we can make money to keep the show going. So if you want to be a supporter or a sponsor of what we're doing, you can feel free to do that. Otherwise, just buy our products, our t-shirts, our training programs, our coaching offers and opportunities, or just dive right in on the Rich Genius and be a part of the community.
Are you tired of putting your passion on hold because you don't think it will make you rich? It's time for you to change the mindset and start living the life you've always dreamed of. Hi, I'm Damilola Oluwatoyinbo, and I'm here to help you unleash your full potential with the Rich Genius program. As someone who has found his gifts and turned them into profitable ventures, I know firsthand the power of following your passion. The Rich Genius program is designed to help you discover your gifts, find your purpose, and make a lot of money from them. With our guidance, you will learn how to turn your passion into a thriving business that will provide you with financial freedom. So why wait? Don't put your passion on hold any longer. Start your journey towards success with the Rich Genius program today. Join me and become a part of a community of progressive people who are deploying their gifts profitably. Click the Learn More button now to get started on your path to success.
All right, now let me ask you, I hope you've bought your ticket for White Night. Have you? Like, this is gonna go off now if you I'm just joking, but really get those tickets because we want to sell them out over the next couple of weeks and know the number of people who are coming and create some special offers for you and all that. And if you have done that, I'm going to be seeing you first Sunday in December. But for now, let's talk about the lady wearing white before white night. Like, this is white trousers, white shoes, white teeth. The top is whitish and it's off
powder blue.
You see. The ladies are the ones that, as in powder.
Yes.
Like that. Like, so ladies have all those colors like lemon green, fuchsia green,
pink,
momo brown, cockroach orange.
There's actually a momo brown. There's actually a
yellow, lakba white.
I won't say that. But then, momo brown is appropriate.
Is that what?
Pomo brown is appropriate. It's actually a very unique color, brown.
Please, I beg you.
I've never heard that color before, but I might use that the next time I go buy fabric. I say pomo brown. Brown, man, that be pomo, pomo brown.
Please. I feel like people are just extra with all these colors. I think that sometimes people just, I don't know whether they are bored or they're trying to invent new things. Snowflakes white.
And now so that it's sparklier. So you know there's another level of white.
One.
Snowflake, right. Normal white, off white.
Maybe that's going to be a dress code for white night this year. Snowflakes white. Right. So let's talk about, you're doing great work. Many of those things that you've shared in terms of your career progression, you've put them together in this amazing book. It's called Visible Strengths. So why was I hiding it? That's what some people are doing with their strengths, right?
That's appropriate.
You see that. So they're hiding their strengths. Why? Because they're saying, I think their strengths are saying, I've got your back. Bring it forward. Make the strengths visible.
I love it.
So let's talk about visible strengths. Let me tell you a couple of things about this book that I really, really love. It's very well produced.
Thank you.
The content is rich. Like, let me see if I can show you guys. The content is rich. The material is solid. The tone is easy to consume. It's conversational, and then it's practical. It's so you're weaving like your experiences into your own original framework, right? Which I think is so powerful. So can you just talk to us in 2 minutes about visible strengths and
2 minutes
like the journey?
Yeah.
2 minutes. After that, it's not paying. By the way, she's given us a couple of copies, so I'm going to be gifting somebody this copy. Maybe the most active person in the comment section.
Hey, I love it.
Yeah. So if just tell me why you should get a copy of this in the comment section. Tell us a bit. Just basically make your strengths visible. So market yourself, talk about your career and why you want a copy of this, and then we'll pick the most compelling.
I love it. So Visible Strengths is a book about how career professionals can accelerate their career by doing 3 things: by capitalizing on their strengths, by contributing value, and by communicating results. So my why, I guess, which is a common question I get, why I wrote this book really was I realized that there is not enough preparation for that transition from academia to the world of work.
True.
We have many, when we think about, entrepreneurship or people that are trying to start their businesses, they go through accelerator programs, they go through all of these things that basically like teach you what you need to know about sales, about marketing, about branding, about whatever it is that you're going to do within your business. But I wonder why we don't have enough of that as it pertains to career, because chances are that there's probably about 70% of the population who are going to be working for somebody else and not necessarily starting off doing their own thing.
True.
But then we go through 3, 4, 5 years of education of some sort, and then someone just thinks that one day you're going to wake up and you're just going to know how work works.
Come on.
And you don't. And I really struggled in my transition to the world of work. And it wasn't a race thing, it wasn't a gender thing. It was just fundamentally that I did not understand how work worked. I didn't know what was important per time. I sort of knew what I was good at, but I didn't know how to leverage it in my everyday thing. I didn't know how to use it to pick the projects that I wanted. I didn't know how to let people know that this is who I am, this is what I represent, this is what I love to do, this is the kind of work that I will excel at, So I didn't really know how to capitalize on my strengths and build a career around my strengths, with intention. And then more so, you come into the workplace and we're so used to being busy. We think that work is about coming in at 9, leaving at 5 and being busy.
And having
no.
a headache whilst living.
Work is about intentionally contributing to the work. What is it? So the establishment that you're working for, you come in every single day. What are they actually trying to achieve? And how are you in the 8 hours, 10 hours or whatever that you're there? How are you contributing to that in a way that makes sense and is relevant? Again, I didn't understand I didn't know the big picture, because especially when you come into an organization that has 200,000 employees, there's a lot of things going on, so but there's always still a central strategy somewhere. And when you come in as a junior talent, sometimes you get lost in the fold. All you know is, this is what my boss says I should do. This is what my team says I should do. I don't really understand anything more than that. But actually coming in knowing that this is the central strategy, this is the string that's pulling everybody together. And then every department, and then consequently every team, and then every manager leans into that in one way.
Wow.
And so do you understand what you are leaning into every single day, right? How are you adding value? Because otherwise you're just going to end up doing a lot of work that is meaningless. You're busy, but when it comes down to like promotion or promotion conversations or pay conversations or reviews, and they ask you what work you've done, you're going to list a whole ton of things
that don't speak to the
but it has nothing to do with what they're trying to do. You haven't contributed to the thing that they're trying to do. And then for me, and this is also where I suffered the most, really, was I didn't know how to do the whole market yourself thing.
Wow.
Right? Like, we hear about visibility, we hear the word visibility, and people just think, oh, I'm just strutting around the office. Let people see me, and it's not that. It's not.
Everyone wear like stilettos and red dresses.
But that's the thing. I'll be visible. Yeah, I mean, and branding and outfits and all of that. They're a huge part of image.
Why should you change your outfits if you're still a misfit?
I can't.
Right.
But I get the point. It's the inner and the outer view thing.
Yeah.
But like the point is, it's not about just imagery and outlook, right? It's what are you doing, and do people know that this is what you're doing? Can they associate you as a person to the work that you're delivering so that they can care, right? And so Harvey Coleman wrote this amazing book. It's called Empowering Yourself, and it talks about this thing called the success pie. People may have seen it, and it says basically, like, in order for you to be successful, 10% of that success pie is performance, and that's actually where most people divert all of their energy to. Then 30% is image. So what do I look like? What are people's perception of me? But he then says, like, the more important and the most majority, which is 60% of that pie, is actually just exposure, visibility.
Wow.
So you spend 10%. What is supposed to be 10% of your time on performance, 30% on image, 60% on exposure. We flip the chart and we call it something else. And so we spend 60% of our time on performance.
Wow.
We spend, 30% on image. And some people is 60% on image, 30% on performance.
This
because that happens. And then most times we spend 10% on exposure.
So that's like a backflip.
Yeah.
So that's why they keep going back. Instead of going forward.
Good point. I like it.
A backflip.
But it's like an inverted success pie, shall we say? But when you
AKA failure.
AKA failure. Yeah, AKA failure. And so, and if you think about sort of the largest organizations in the world, your Apples, your McDonald's, your Teslas, whatever, they probably on average are spending 20 to 40% of their annual revenue on marketing.
Wow.
So even if we were spending 20 to 40% of our time on marketing, it will be making a significant difference in investment, right?
So even if you see yourself as a business,
you see
your
absolutely,
career as a profitable venture, and you're basically positioning yourself strategically, you already have the content, but then who knows who's seeing that and how well are you coming across in the world? I think it's so
even just
powerful.
dividing your time at work, and this is whether you're in career or in business, you have to allocate intentional time to talking about the work that you're doing. Like, it's not something that is like, I think over time you like do the work, and it's almost like as a byproduct you talk about it. No, you almost have to do the work in a way that you can talk about it. It's a whole different perspective. And I write Invisible Strengths about being the CMO of product U, CMO being Chief Marketing Officer. Like you actually have a role to play as a Chief Marketing Officer of product U.
Yeah.
And what the Chief Marketing Officers do, they work on branding, image and branding, they work on advertising and marketing, and they work on lead generation and market intelligence. And so how much of your time are you spending creating the perception you want people to take from you? How much of your time are you telling people about the work that you're doing and actively advertising and marketing it? And how much of your time are you using to create opportunities beyond the seat that you're currently sitting in?
Now.
And so, so that's in essence. But I wrote that book because these are the struggles that I had when I was starting. It was a lived experience, and I learned a lot of things along the way. And by the time I solidified it in my mind, I was like, this is what it is, and I started operating in that. My career went from like flattish growth to almost like that. You know, there was no job I would apply for that I wouldn't get because through the philosophies of Visible Strengths, I could sell myself in anything. I would always, every time, whether it's a job application, I would start from what strengths do I want to lean in today? How am I going to actively tell them I can contribute value? And how am I going to communicate the results that I'm generating?
Awesome.
If I'm working on a project, I'm saying the same thing. What strengths are going to help me be successful today? How am I going to contribute value? How am I going to tell them that this is the work that I've done? If I'm about to change departments, or if I'm going into a conversation about my promotion, my progression, my pay, I'm always going in there today. What strengths am I leaning on today? How am I going to tell them I contributed value? How am I going to tell them the results that I generated? So it's literally, and I talk in the book about the fact that it's not just a framework. It's a philosophy. It's a mindset. It's not just like, I'm just going to do this here and I'm going to do it again. You're going to put this on repeat. And the more you're able to leverage your strengths, contribute value, communicate your results, it creates more opportunities for you to basically start all over again on the wheel.
Amazing. Love it. So you spoke about capitalize on your strengths. Yeah. And I thought about it. If you don't capitalize on your strength, you will tell capitalize about your strengths. And it's interesting. You said that you struggled with this, so you couldn't capitalize on your strength initially, or you didn't know you had to, right, initially. And that's weird because you were living in the capital city. Right. So, isn't that just like... And then you had a startup capital, right? So how come... Oh my goodness. All right, I'm going to ask some fast questions now because we need to begin to tailor the conversation to a close. But this is very helpful for people who are building a career. Let's talk a little bit about immigration. So there's a whole JAPA thing right now. Many people are traveling out of Nigeria. In drones and droves and whatever, drivers. They're going to Calgary, they're going to London, they're going to Melbourne, they're going to... What do you think? What are the three things you wish you knew before you traveled? You traveled for education.
Yeah, I traveled pretty young,
But people travel for different things. Education, so the education. People are going to do masters with their mistress, like going to study degrees that they may or may not use. What are three things that you had to maybe sort of like learn the hard way, or that you wish you were better prepared for before you left for the UK?
I don't think I can answer that question with me in perspective because I left so much younger.
All right, so what are three things?
But I would say three things I think that people should know.
Prepare for, take care.
I would say one, network well ahead
before you
leave.
Wow.
Start positioning yourself with global greatness.
Join global greatness. That's one of our communities.
Start positioning yourself with the globe in mind. There are many people who are just, I guess, local, not I'm gonna say local champions, but basically you operate here or you operate in the African market, and you're now moving to a whole different thing. So you need to, that mindset of I'm beyond these shores, right? Understanding that it's a whole different ball game. I need to, start connecting the dots beyond where I am. So even like the language on your LinkedIn, if you have things that say Nigeria or Africa or whatever, start switching them out. Start, talk about the work that you're doing, but with a global perspective. So that's always kind of helpful. If you can already start doing consulting work or freelance work from the country before you even are physically away, that could be helpful. You know, again, it creates just more connectivity, starts to help you build your network. So even things like attending some virtual seminars in the industry that you're in, start connecting with people who are that they're there, who are just operating on a different scale. And even just, you know, with connections with people who have already made the move. You know, there's nothing, you need a network, you need a community of people to absorb you, basically. You know, it's when you're moving, you're a little bit of an amoeba. And so you're going into an ecosystem and someone has to help you kind of, you know, flesh out and do that. So I think there's that. So I know I've said actually a couple of things there, which is one, mindset, but two, also just start stepping beyond the locale and thinking more broadly and shaping the things that are around you so it reflects a more sort of global positioning and not a local one. So I think that's important. And I've also talked about, you know, networks and building communities around you, whether it's personal communities or professional communities that can help you kind of, you know, be more to adapt better and more prepared into that. And I think the other thing is it's going to cost you way more than you think. Prepare for that.
Because I think you should repeat that, because I think that's one of the mistakes.
Yeah, it's going to cost you way more than you think.
In what way? Is that just
I mean, people think, you know,
on the family side of things?
All three, but even just financial. I think sometimes we under budget.
Yeah.
You're under budget and you come and you realize, woof, you know, you need to have your numbers.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that they tell you at the home office and tell you like, okay, you only need 6 months of this. That fundamentally, that's your minimum. It's not the target, right? So start from there and double it if you can, you know, if you can, because there's so many blind spots that, you know, you can come into a country, as one of my family members did recently, and it was not able to get an apartment and had to live in Airbnb for like 2 weeks.
Wow.
Burning through what was 6 weeks, you know, 6 weeks money allocated was burnt within 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And he had to completely rejig.
But it wasn't a smoker, was it? How come it was just still like burning the whole thing?
Well, it was a smoker. It wasn't prepared, but let's put that aside.
Because burner boy came.
Oh my God. Hey. How do they say this thing in Yoruba? There's something I want to say in Yoruba that's like "Eku suru," I say, like, you know, like our listeners. You will have to listen to this every week. Patience. I can tell that you are building the skill of patience.
No, they love it. There's an audience that this is what makes their day. Like, read the comments and check out.
I always ask, like, P-Dams, like, where do you get this stuff from? But genuinely, it's us who have to process it. We are the ones that should be getting the congratulations. Eku suru. Well done, folks, for bearing through this week in, week out. Because you are trying.
Oh my gosh. So talking about burning the budget, Airbnb.
Yeah, so it's burning through the budget, doing all of that.
Okay,
so I think
I see now. That's Airbnb, burning and budget, BNB. All right, Airbnb. And then for things to burn, air has to be there. Oxygen creates.
I can't. So just be more prepared. You know, there's so many things that could go wrong, you know. So as much as you can extend the budget, plan ahead. You just never know. You can get there, things go wrong. You can get there and even be cheated. People think that cheating only happens in Africa and in Nigeria. You can get there and they will go in salo. These things happen, which means take your money and run
away.
You know, these things happen. You know, you mean, and then also people can say, oh, because you're not working yet, we need a 6 month. You need to pay rent for 6 months.
Wow.
So it's not, so you're thinking, oh, I have 1 month, I have reserves, and they'll just tell you, oh no, you're not working yet. Sometimes some people tell you we can't rent to students. So if there's any, if maybe your partner is a student and you are not, they'll tell you because they're a student, we don't rent our properties to any student. So there are lots of rules that Home Office, immigration people would not tell you. When you get there is when you start experiencing, and money is what gives you the buffer to bear these sort of changes and sort of unforeseen things. So I think just prepare more, pray more. Don't go there thinking that the grass is green where you wet it. That's just the truth. So yeah, there are obviously challenges in the region. There are reasons why people are going, extremely valid reasons why they are going. It's, you know, I honestly don't think anybody thinks they're leaving and it's going to be a walk in the park. I think people know it's going to be a challenge. Maybe I do think they maybe slightly underestimate how much of a challenge it would be, because again, it's that thing of we're running away from hardship or we're leaving hardship. So there's a little bit of that it's hard, but it cannot be as hard as where we're coming from.
It could be sometimes.
It could be. Yeah. Because one thing you definitely have this place, you have family, you have community, you have people know you can bounce off things there. Or everybody's on their own.
Maybe the reason the things don't work in the park is, so for example, in the UK there's so many parks. So the thing, they'll just take a walk in the park and they don't do their ballpark figures right. Because
anyway, so the people
but
please prepare.
But there's even parking tickets. So you don't drive through the park.
Please prepare for your JAPA properly. Save more if you can. Just have a buffer, have a budget, and don't what's that word? Like, don't
glamorize.
Don't glamorize the move. It can be tough. It can be tough. I haven't experienced it myself because I moved when I was just so much younger, in a completely different economy, a different age. I was 16 when I left the country. So 20 years ago. We're going 20 years now. So it was a different experience, but I've seen so many people since then make the move, and it's just, you know, it's tough. Flat, right? But also be ready to be flexible. You may have to take a job working retail. You may have to do a night shift groceries, you know. So it's again, if you are able to do the things around networking and setting up yourself apart and freelancing and doing some other things, you might be able to avoid that. If you come in and you're literally starting from scratch, CV, this, that, you might realize you want to keep your reserves up and you have to get a part-time job. And sometimes pride, and rightfully so, you know, pride and all these things, you say, hey, do I really want to be doing that? But in the end, sometimes you just have to say, hey, I'm going to do what is necessary, especially when you have family to take care of, whether his husband you're taking care of or his wife you're taking care of, or kids, whatever it is, those are, you know, they are priority. And sometimes you might have to just do something you otherwise may not want to do. And obviously I'm speaking about things that are legal and not please don't tell me I did not say don't do anything. No, I did not say they should do anything. I'm just saying, you know, sometimes you might have to do things that you might feel are beneath your skill level just to, you know, get by, and you know,
just to get by and to be able to get to buy something, so you don't say bye
to the place, the JAPA region of choice.
Bye. Right.
I'll
be like, bye. All right, couple of things. Fast questions. What's the greatest lessons? What's your greatest lesson in life? What do you consider a greatest lesson in life?
All things work together for my good.
Come on. What's the best thing you have invested in?
Myself.
Ooh. What's the best book you've read?
My book, Visible Strengths.
Pardon?
My book, Visible Strengths.
In other words, the Bible not even do restriction.
But yeah, it's definitely the good book. And then from a career perspective, I love
a good book. You know,
the Bible. The Bible, the Holy Bible, holiest of Bibles. Yeah, the holy Bible in NIV version in particular is my favorite. But also there's a book by Dale Carnegie called How to Make Friends and Influence People. I think it's one of the most powerful books I read, and I think I read that book every year. And it's just really, it tells you just the importance of how to get on with people. And not just to get them to do for you what you may otherwise not be able to do for yourself, but just how you can become a person of influence.
Yeah.
That was the first book I would say on influencing before the whole concept of influencers even became a thing. This book is old, dated, but it's a world-class book. Yeah.
All right. What's the worst thing, greatest mistake you've made that you can afford to share in public?
Oof. Maybe it's an open book, but what can I say? Not being financially smart early. Yeah.
Okay, so you lost some money after making some money.
Yeah, just getting involved with debt. And not being debt in itself is not bad. You just have to be smart about it.
Yeah.
But just understanding like leverage as a tool as opposed to using it for things that really don't make sense.
What would you tell your younger self, your 16-year-old self, or your maybe 18-year-old self?
Take it easy.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your best health habit?
Oh, sleep. Listen.
This laughter has
sleep.
See the joy on your face. So it's like when you're sleeping, you enjoy yourself so much, you'll be laughing at your sleeping.
Sleep. We don't sleep enough. Maybe I should say rest. But opposite is sleep. Because we always think, so a lot of times they are fighting, you're actually sleeping, but you're fighting, you're struggling. But I would say sleep. I think, so much happens scientifically and neurologically when we're sleeping.
Yeah.
A lot of times the problems that you're trying to solve, you will solve them when you're sleeping.
All right. How do you plan to change the world?
Ooh, one woman at a time.
Great stuff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an amazing time talking with Mosope Mary Adeyemi. We're gonna play a game, and then we're gonna play a game shortly, and then we'll talk about how people can connect with you and your work and be a part of your community and projects and different things that you do. Stay tuned, people, because when we're back, we're gonna be seeing or checking out how much. I was gonna say pornography. Porn intelligence you have, and how well you can crack the code when it comes to all these words and wheat and lyrics.
I don't know. Let's see how it goes.
Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.
Please put your hand together for 𝐕𝐈𝐃𝐄𝐒 as he comes to share with us how he also can we celebrate the amazing, the author, the singer, the mentor.
But we know say God now Papa, and we have the right genes in us.
Modupe, you are very rude.
Wait. The question I just have to see somebody that knows something about girl. That's when they will now be take your picture and go. It's not don't underline now. Now you go talk
I'll mark your script.
Some people still didn't get it.
My name is 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒.
My name is 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒.
Good evening, 𝐕𝐈𝐃𝐄. Good evening, Pastor Toju. I've laughed. I hope I've not thrown my voice away.
Because I promise you that everything you touch is fire. Every beat you're on is a banger. Because every word I speak is rema. Another.
All right, guys, welcome back. Great to have you still on the show. My name is Damilola Oluwatoyinbo, and this is still White Paper Podcast. Do ensure that you're subscribed on the YouTube channel. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and all podcast streaming platforms. We have been having a nice time talking to Mosope Mary Adeyemi, the author of Visible Strengths, and I hope you've gotten your copy. Run to Amazon right now or look around this podcast for links. Right, and don't forget, we're gifting out a copy to the person with the most compelling narrative in the comments about their strengths and their visible strengths and why they need it. So now, as we round off this episode, we want to talk about what she's going to do. Let's see how visible her strengths are when it comes to lyrics and words.
Definitely not a strength. I mean,
but you're not a strength. We've been talking all day, so that means you have a lot to say. Now, I hope you have a lot to write.
Oh Lord. Okay, what am I writing?
The pressure just went high.
Yeah.
All right. So here, what we're going to do is I'm going to read, there are two games actually. The first game, I'm going to read some of my original WhitePaper quotes. Okay. And you're supposed, I'll take out some words, but you're supposed to, good choice, team. Yeah, very good. I'll take out some words and you are supposed to guess what I wrote based on the way you know my mind works. And
Ooh.
yeah. So it's a little, yeah, it's pretty nice.
Do I really know how your mind works? Even I'm not too sure myself. So, okay.
So let's go now. Say this with me. My name might not be. No, don't write it. You're not supposed to write. This is not the writing part. This is the same part. Then there's another one where you're going to write. So this one is, my name might not be dash, but God will make more dollars pour into my life. This one is easy. Like, you should just get it. My name might not be dash, but God will make more dollars pour into my life.
I feel like I've even seen this one before, but I can't remember.
It's supposed to be using it.
My name might not be dash. I don't know, maybe something dollar, cash.
Yeah, in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I feel like it's like maybe an artist that has like a dollar thing
like Johnny
or
Cash.
Yeah,
or
something like
Dollar.
that. Creflo dollar.
But that's different. Creflo dollar.
I'll probably just say Creflo dollar, but I feel like it's something else.
It's a Yoruba name. My name might not be dash, but God is able to.
Ote dollar.
No, that could have worked, but that's not what I wrote.
Oh, okay, I feel like I should say that. I could say that though.
Yeah,
but you could say that. My name might not be Ote dollar.
Yes,
but God allow more dollars.
So you're close. You're very close. My name might not be dash but God will make more dollars pour into me.
What is it?
Should I tell you?
Yeah.
My name might not be dollar pour, but God will make more dollars pour.
I would not have guessed that.
All right, you have another chance to save your reputation and your career. The pressure level just went high.
I mean, really? Okay.
This one is simple as well. You fell, oh sheep. Could it be because you are no longer in dash with your fellow sheep? You fell, oh sheep. Could it be because you are no longer in dash with your fellow sheep? A word that rhymes with all of that.
You fell, oh ship. Maybe.
You're no longer in
relationship?
Close. That has to do with like spiritual gatherings and
worship.
Keep going. If you keep going along the lines, you'll get it. Yeah.
But it has sheep inside.
Yeah, of course. As in, like, the answer is hidden and clear. How do you say it?
In plain sight. But it's not relationship.
Yeah,
you already said that.
I'm
literally like, dude.
You fell, oh ship. Could it be because we're no longer in dash with your fellow sheep? You get it, like relationship.
But I said relationship already.
I know. I said if you keep going, just keep. What's like a church gathering that is not a church gathering? That is
church gathering. That's not a church gathering. Oh, fellowship.
Exactly. This is how you look like you're upset with yourself.
I feel like I heard the fellowship already. I feel like I heard it already.
So there are different things. You fell.
Oh shit. Okay, that's what I was thinking. I feel like I was already hearing the fellowship that I didn't think it was fellowship.
That's why I said I was hidden in plain
sight.
Okay,
right? Okay.
So you fell. Oh shit. Could it be because you are no longer in
fellowship? Okay.
Fellowship.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Literally.
Lord Jesus. I literally was hearing fellowship.
Yeah.
Like at the same time, I was like, it can't be that. So I kept on thinking
That's why it's called wordplay. Just play.
hit it in plain sight.
All right,
Okay.
your last exercise so that your brain can then you just calm down. You're supposed to. I'm going to give you 2 words. Right. Excuse me. 2 words, and you're supposed to form an inspiring or encouraging or a funny phrase or sentence with it. Right. Your own white paper quote. So
P Dams think is everybody's like him. Okay.
don't worry. So the first phrase. So carry on, sir. The first phrase is visible strengths.
Oof.
Right? Visible strengths. And the next thing is finance. We should record this so we can use it for like sound bites or reels. Of course, if we make a mistake, we have enough white people to go around. So we'll just get another one.
What I want to say is not PG-13. Let me not say it.
Really? So your mind works like that? Oh my gosh.
Why are you doing that? Kai. I know I have what I want to say, but I don't want to say it. But you say worse things on your White Paper podcast. Actually, so let me just write it. So sometimes you can go off the fence. And I'm always like, what happened today?
Why do we go off the fence? I'm just sharing the truth, like wisdom. Maybe it's X-rated. Yay! So sometimes when I say something, I qualify very well in the comments. I'll be like, hey.
People are putting me on that pressure.
Pressure or prayer.
P-Dams, anymore. Let's start again.
Take your time.
Hey. I have a plane to catch you. Oh, take your time.
So don't miss it in plain sight. This is the last aspect of it. So
we said inspiring can be inspiring, right?
Inspiring, encouraging, challenging, funny, just something that people can take away, even though it's not a park. They can take away.
Okay, this is definitely not funny. I think it's just inspirational.
Yeah. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Oh, okay. Try to write this again.
Yeah, you can. There's another one so that it can be neat.
This is not fair. Do you know I'm actually feeling like this is very unfair? Please give me paper. I'm going to be here forever at this stage.
It's not fair, but it's dark.
No, it's not fair. These are all the people that, or these are your. This is not fair.
Can we
now.
get a spare sheet of paper, books?
Wait, this is not fair. This is okay. I need to really think about this. I'm not good at wordsmithing. Let me see. Oh. This is the best I can do with this one. It said finance, Abby.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I made a mistake. Cross that one out. Okay. Let's try that one. I've submitted.
Oh, that's good. Can you write it out?
Write it out.
But that's good. Oh,
I need a plain, like, I don't know if they're clean ones.
just be careful so you don't stay in your white.
Yes.
Your white.
Standard Niger practice. Stay in your white. Nigeria will stay in your white. Hey, pedants. I must not miss my flight though.
Well, this part is now. The ball is in your court.
I should make it big, Abby. Okay. You can try that one. It will work.
So you're the one to read it. You're the one. No, this is the last exercise. But you're the one to show us and read it. I'm very concerned about your whites. But yeah, read what you wrote. I like the first line. Read it. Read it to the audience. Why you? Doesn't read it out vocally.
I'm trying to see how I can add that visible strength.
Oh.
Ooh, I can add it too.
Don't worry, just read what you have so that we get.
Okay. Half. Okay. So your fine eyes needs finance to see the fine art before you.
Doesn't that make sense?
From the Diary of a Gold Digger.
No, but was that in it? Okay, it just.
So I was like, Diary of a Gold Digger. Like a gold digger would say that. Yeah.
That's good. And I mean, it works with visible strengths, right? Fine eyes to see.
Yeah. I'm actually thinking how I'll have added visible strength.
Don't worry.
The fine eyes needs finance.
And send it to us.
So,
ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being on this episode with us. Thank you so much. I know you have a flight to catch, like literally. This is not like people just imagining they're going to be flying. You have a literal flight to catch.
A literal flight to catch.
To be here. Thank you so much for the work that you do. Thanks for writing this book. I'm sure many people are going to follow you online. Yes. So how can people connect with you? How can we support your work? How can we be part of your community for those who are looking in that direction?
Amazing. No, thank you. It was really great to be here. You can find me on socials. I'm on Instagram at Mary Mosope _Adeyemi. and also the visibility handle. So it's basically she being visible. It's a play on words, but yeah, visibility on Instagram, and then also on LinkedIn. If you just Google me, Mary Adeyemi, or type me in the search bar, you find me. Visible Strengths, you can pick up Visible Strengths on Amazon, local Amazon, but also in Nigeria you can get it at Roving Heights. So we have a distribution partnership with Roving Heights, and they've been fantastic. So definitely either order online or go into their Victoria Island or Surulere stores, and I think they have in Abuja as well, so you can pick it up there. But yeah, just find me on Instagram, find me on LinkedIn. I'm super easy to trace, and I look forward to connecting. So just send me a message and say I saw you on White Paper Podcast, and we'll connect soon.
So guys, you know what to do. Let's bombard her with love and get on the special offers that she has. It's been another amazing episode of White Paper Podcast. My name is Damilola Oluwatoyinbo. I'm the creator of White Paper Podcast, White Paper Wisdom, White Paper Merch, White Paper Airlines, White Paper Intergalactic Causeways, White Paper Stars, White Paper
glory from your lips to God's ear.
Yes, so keep on liking, following, and sharing. We'll see you live at White Night. I'll see you on the Rich Genius portal. Buy that course, subscribe to my programs. Be a part of it. Don't just laugh, learn, and grow.
Ooh.
And let's make wisdom viral. I'll see you on the next episode.
Ooh, fire.